That and starting the stream.
Unlimited usage. There's no max tokens like you get with the OpenAI.
Let's see if it's working.
app. I can't believe people haven't done this already. Ads are back. This is kind of scary. Use a catch on the end. Do X.
Okay, so we're live again. Figured I was going to do a little bit of more work on the app. And I was also going to answer a question here that is actually quite relevant for everyone about Vim and everything. Oh, cool. The chat keeps working if I just have it open like this. That's nice. Okay, so we have some people tuning in already. That's good. I'll wait for a bit for other people to come. Lives are a cool idea. Yeah, right? So I realized with the previous one that my camera was a bit blocking the chat. So I'm trying to be a little bit better with that so that you can actually see the chat on the video. Hey, there's Koen again. Hello. I figured I would do an hour or so, 1.5 hours of more work on the app that I'm building. And I'm actually going to try to see if I can record a video as I'm doing this. So now that we have 12 people already, I'll just start the stream by trying to record a video. Start recording. Okay. So the question here is from William. This is in my CubeCraft. This is where I teach DevOps to engineers, and I help people land DevOps jobs. We land about a job every single week. And this is where people get to ask me and the community questions directly, and then I record private videos for them like this. And here is a question by William. Will AI speech-to-text models render Vim obsolete? For the last 30 years, being a skilled Vim user would bring us some serious productivity gains. But now with speech-to-text models are getting so good, why not just talk for almost everything you do on a computer? As such, do these models render Vim obsolete? If not obsolete, do they make Vim less useful than it once was? So there is already some discussion going on here. And this is actually something that I've been thinking about a lot recently. And the thing is that the issue here is for DevOps specifically, is that the main thing I'm thinking about is for, first of all, debugging from the command line. So like when you're there are environments that I've worked in that are still just running Linux virtual machines, Linux servers everywhere, right? So you need to be able to go in there and configure something if something goes wrong. Ideally, you will be doing this with Ansible, but like as you are creating the environments or something like that, there is still a situation where you could be on a command line with nothing but your Vim skills and the man pages to fix something. So I do still think that it is necessary. And the other what do you call it, argument here is that, like, I gotta say that I almost never write code anymore, right? But what I do is for example, in this particular repo, if I open up, like just the fact that I can just do VR and open up my recent files like this, to me is already is very useful, right? So v dot, and I can just open, I can check out my docs, and I can easily navigate around here. Like that is not trivial. The fact that I can do this without the using the mouse and being able to like go through the information, edit it very easily, nicely. That is something that I've built up over the years, and I wouldn't like to lose this skill. However, when I do not actually use this to write code anymore. I'm not writing code by hand at all. Like I write markdown files, I write all sorts of things in Vim, but very rarely do I actually write code. Like I can edit the code if I want to, let's see, the backend src rag backend. If I want to check out and edit the code, then I would definitely navigate it with my Vim key bindings, and I can go to the definition of the functions, etc. It's very, it's a good skill to have, but should you still learn it? Because the writing of it does not happen by writing in files anymore. Like writing code hardly will be done by humans any longer. You still need to be able to read the code, but you can. The writing of it almost always happens by just dictating to the models. And so I agree with that specifically for writing code. Now, the only reason why I'm still going to say, yes, you still want to learn Vim is because if you want to become a DevOps engineer, then you need to get, if you will do it the right way, you're going to learn Kubernetes, and then you'll need to get the CKA, CKS, and CKAD exams. And as long as these exam environments require you to do hands-on work, which is time limited within 2 hours, as long as they require you to do that, then I believe that it's still useful and required to learn Vim, because these exams are so freaking hard, and you have to do it with high time pressure. And any advantage you can get by doing the work faster and solving more questions during these exams is going to be an advantage that's going to help you in your career. So as long as those exams still require you to do the hands-on work in these environments, I still think every DevOps engineer who is learning DevOps needs to spend time in Vim. And this is what we do in KubeCraft. Like one of the first things I will show you is my Linux course, where we're going to go deep into Linux on the command line. I'm going to teach you Vim, the basics, why you should do it, how to learn it, etc. Later, I'm going to set you up with dot files and how to manage everything like I do. And I still think this is a good thing to do if you're going to be becoming a DevOps engineer. But that I have to end with saying that like this whole application that I built, KubeCraft AI, where you can query all of the knowledge which is running locally on a Kubernetes cluster that I own with my own GPU. Like if I can ask it questions, it's going to query 2 years of coaching calls that I have done. I built all of this by dictating to the AI, and I have not been using Vim to interact with it at all. So that is definitely the state where things are in that sense. So yeah, that is my current stance on it. And with the world of AI, so much is changing. So this is what this is my current opinion. And yeah, we'll see where it is in 6 months from now. Okay, so that's a video recorded, and let's see, that should have recorded to, is that to video? Where is that recording to? Videos? No? Output? Where did that record to, OBS? Settings? Recording. Oh, just straight to my home directory. Okay. So, Misha, modified. Yeah, there we go. There it is. Today. Cool. So that was recorded. Then I will upload that to Loom. Upload. And this is how I help people in the Career Accelerator. When people have questions, I will answer them by, of course, by writing the posts, but sometimes, or very often, I will record custom videos like this. And I'm not doing it on stream right now, so you can see what it looks like inside of KubeCraft. But this is how I help people every single day. And this is why we're landing jobs once a week. We got a really cool job landing just now as well, where Austin here now got an AI job at a Fortune 500 in the US. So that's really cool that it was just landed this week. So always happy to see that happening. The sooner you learn Vim, the more you profit. Yeah, I still think so. Hi, Rob. Yeah, I definitely think it is still worth it. And yeah. Cool shades, thank you. All right, so how many people do we have live now? 36, cool. Now that we've recorded the video, I am going to continue with the following. Namely, in the previous stream, we were, I set up the infrastructure so we could switch the models easier. And I have basically finished that. And then we also decided that we were going to stick to the current Gemma deployment for now. But because on the Kubernetes cluster, I am limited to only one GPU. So if I open up the cluster here, actually, no. If I open up the cluster, technically I don't need K9S just to show you the nodes, but why not nodes? So my current cluster, it is built up, it is running locally, and my GPU worker is actually located in my office, but the control plane is actually a Hetzner VM. So I only have 2 nodes, and one of them has a GPU. So currently I'm only able to deploy one model at a time, because the way Kserve works means that it can only run one pod serving one model at a time. So I'm a bit limited to that. And if I want to try out locally, if I want to try out my application with a different model, because I really want to check out Qwen 27B, for example, and or 35B for that matter. I just wanted to check out how it runs, how my app runs with that application, with that model. Now, I do have a framework desktop which has a lot of shared VRAM. Actually, I have not been optimizing my desktop for running AI yet, but I do have this one. I have the 128 gigabytes set up. So actually what I should do is I should just set up the application so that I can just run Qwen 35B locally, run it, and then point the application to that. So that is going to be fun. And I think that's what I'm going to do now, because I have maybe 1.5 hours. Yeah, about an hour. And I think I would be able to get that up and running in an hour. And it will be fun to be able to actually run it locally with a different model. Okay. So this can be cleared. And I just got to check something if... container, dev container, JSON. Yes, this is running on the host network. So my dev container should be able to run or reach the AI model. And yeah, I'm basically going to just start working on that. So here, case in point, right? We started the stream by talking about Vim and whether you should still learn Vim. Oh, is my camera not working? What the heck? It looks like my camera is frozen. How long has my camera been frozen, guys? Oh, did it just freeze? Let me see if I can get it back to work. The camera. Oh wait, here it is. Is it back again? I think it's back again. Can you please confirm if you see me moving again? Hey, Caspar from NL, Netherlands. It is back. Thank you so much for confirming that. Appreciate it. Oh, you live in Taiwan. Oh, your NL, that made me think that you are from the Netherlands. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you confirming that. So yes, we were talking. We began the stream by talking about should you learn Vim, and well, the case in point here is that what I'm going to show you. We're going to do brainstorming, and I will now then dictate to the AI what I want to do. And I've already created an issue for this one. Local AI dev stack. Okay. So here I'll say, I want to work on issue 140, and the setup is as follows. Like, you are currently running inside of a dev container. I always do everything inside of dev containers to scope everything nicely and to make sure that my AI agents can run with full permissions. Now, for the current project, I want to have a stack that I can run locally in Podman. And I am using a Fedora Atomic desktop spin, the Sway one specifically. So I am going to be using a containerized workflow, and I'm also going to be running my AI model inside of a toolbox. I will share the link, and I want you to clone that repo so that you understand how these toolboxes are deployed on my Fedora machine. But this is how I will be making the model available. So right now I'm thinking that we are going to spin up the application outside of the dev container, and I will just run Podman or Podman Compose locally. And then the idea is that it will deploy the front end and back end containers, which are then configured through environment variables to talk to the model that's running locally in a separate toolbox. So this is what I have in mind. I have no experience with Podman Compose, only Docker Compose. So my system is running Podman in rootless mode. We are not running rootful, but rootless. So we have to take that into account when building this feature. All right, so that is how I would then scope out a prompt like this. And this is no typing involved. And I believe that like talking out loud like this has a very different. Oops, I have to actually share the toolbox link. Toolbox images. This is the what I'm going to be using. Here we go. Yeah, so I'm like when you're talking to a AI like this in natural language, I think the thinking process is also different. Like right now, I'm like standing here walking, I'm able to talk. Like I think it definitely helps with the actual thoughts that you create, the creative thinking that you can do, and yeah, the way how deep you think. So what's going to be really cool is that in a week from now, I'm actually going to take my camper van and I'm going to go on a trip for 2 weeks. And I'm going to be staying at campsites. I'm going to be driving through Germany and France. Not much traveling, but like finding a nice site and then staying there for 7 days or something. And I'm going to try out to like do like agentic engineering like I'm doing now, but then like in a nice environment, sitting in the sun, or while on a mountain hike even, and prompting them from my phone. And the idea is that I'm going to be streaming a lot of that as well. So I want to do a lot more live streaming in the future. My plan is to start streaming like almost every day while I'm building this application, and yeah, showcasing my AI skills and the things I'm learning, the things I'm building. And I want to take you guys along with that and show you how I do this, basically. No issues with my cluster. It's working really well. The issue text assumes NVIDIA CDI, yeah. So the issues VLM recommendation doesn't apply. The model server will be Llama server running inside a toolbox. Yes, that is actually a good point. RAG backend today needs 2 OpenAI compatible endpoints for the LLM dynamic embed. For the local stack, how do you want to provide both? So first of all, yes, it will be on the framework desktop using these toolboxes. I won't be doing any embeddings right now, so we can leave that out of scope for now, but do create an issue to consider this for the local stack in the future. Now I'm just about testing inference with a different model. And actually, I'm noticing that I'm typing right now, and I'm not text to speech. Skip retrieval locally, point break backend only at the LLM. Gate embeddings, RPC behind retrieval disabled true, no embedding model needed. Yeah, so it's basically option C. Yeah, so it's basically option C. We don't need embeddings. I'm literally just, the only thing I'm interested in right now is to test my front and back end while they talk to a different model, because it's problematic with just one GPU to switch. So I want to have a place where I can experiment with these models and have it run locally. And because of this, I don't think we need to adhere to VLLM for in that particular case. Everything on the Kubernetes cluster should be using VLLM, but locally it's fine to use Llama CPP because in the end it's just an OpenAI endpoint that we need, right? Wow, it is thinking a long time. There's probably a lot of people playing with Claude right now. Let's see what X says. Usually when things are very slow, it will, like X will be all over it. Does anyone actually run 20 agents in parallel? I love that this is going on, actually. I run them perpendicular. Yes, 4 backend projects, each one codex. It has 3 sub-agents, 3 UI explorations, 1 LM Studio for summaries. Okay. But they're mostly idle, yeah. Exactly. This is the thing, like there are so many people saying or claiming that they're running these AI storms and AI agent swarms. But when you look at it, like most people don't. And actually I have found myself that at most it is basically I'm able to keep 1 or 2 running like constantly. But at that point the cognitive overload becomes too much. Let's see, build mode for chat UI and RAG backend. When Podman compose upruns, where do the 2 app containers come from? Build from source. Yeah. Recommendation is A. Build pre-built. No, I want B. This is such a cool project. Please keep streaming every day and maybe experiment with other local agents. Yes. Well, I'm glad you're saying that. This is actually what I'm planning to do. I want to show you this process of me building this app, and this is going to be my first app, or the first real one that I'm having. Like I now have 30 users using the application right now, and I'm going to keep building more of these as I get better too. But I'm now focusing on getting this one right first. Repo root composite YAML local 0 diff local subdirectory. I would go B, local. Yeah, let's do B. Local AI, building K3S, and build, store, and deploy images. Yeah, cool, man. Nice work. How do containers reach the host running Llama server? This is where the rootless Podman has a few quirks. Network mode host. Podman is built in DNS for the host gateway with pasta. This revolves automatically inside containers, no compose side gymnastics. Okay, I like that better, actually. Yeah. A. This is Sway Window Manager. Sway. Okay, retrieval off mechanism is in RAG backend. New field, retrieval disabled in settings. Make Superbase URL optional. Well, I actually want the local stuff to be able to talk to Superbase. And actually, can you please remind me, do we have a separate Superbase staging instance, or are we still talking to the same one? In any case, I want to use the same thing that the current staging environment that's running on the cluster is using. Sway is like i3 for Wayland. Yes, that's exactly what it is. And yes, I am on a treadmill. God wears Gucci. Getting them steps in. Actually, I did a 2-hour stream earlier today where I was, I was walking constantly. In the morning, I've been working for a couple of hours while walking. And right now, I will also be walking for maybe 1.5 hours. So that's like a solid 5 hours of walking I'm doing while working, which is great. Staging is a separate Superbase project. To match staging, okay. Chat UI Superbase auth. Magic link, yes. Rack backend Superbase, PG vectors. Reading the same projects, vectors, tables. Use Superbase URL, Superbase key. To enable retrieval, you also need the embedding model to run locally. Wait, what? So the staging backend is talking to the production Superbase then, right? The staging Superbase is only for authentication. The full stack is Python for the backend. Front end is Next.js, yes. Okay, so if I open Superbase then, staging, state is unhealthy. Why is my staging unhealthy? Database, schema, message. Chat document. Hold on. But so we didn't duplicate all of the data to the staging superbase then. I'm looking at it right now, but does the staging have any of the Q&A calls or YouTube transcripts ready in it? I don't think so, actually. Yes, because if I look in my tables, transcripts, QA transcript chunks, yeah. Well, you actually have all of the credentials to talk to Superbase, and I think we will need to migrate the transcripts and the Q&A and all of the embeddings, etc. We have to migrate all of that to staging, the staging Superbase from production, so that we have a data set to work with, and we can just query the staging database locally. Before jumping into building apps and SaaS with AI MCPs, do you recommend learning the languages manually? For how long? Yeah, I definitely recommend learning the fundamentals of programming for sure. How long? This is difficult to answer, but I wouldn't advise doing what I'm doing here if you don't know like programming fundamentals and if you haven't built some projects yourself. Well, actually, you're wrong here because there's no point in... I cannot test the inference locally if we're not able to retrieve anything. So both need to be done at this. They both need to be done for the local development setup to work. I'll be fine doing both of them in this session. It's not that big of a deal to port something over to staging. Let's see. One toolbox. But why do we need embedding? All of the embeddings are still in Supabase prod. We don't need to create new embeddings locally at this stage. We don't need the embedding model for retrieval, do we? Like maybe we do. But I'm pretty sure that we are not. KN LLM demo, kget pods. I'm pretty sure we're not running an embeddings model right now. Oh, we are running. Oh, that's interesting. I am running the Nomic embeds running model. It's actually just running on CPU. Retrieval needs to query the embedded too on every single request. Interesting. Okay. Local Llama server toolbox. We could point it to the server, that's true. Pragmatic shortcut, but it requires kserf API key in your local env. Yes, okay. Well then I would say we will run it in two toolboxes. In that case, separate. We'll run, let's see, router mode, one toolbox, one process serving both the LLM and a Nomic embed, routed by the model field. Clear? Okay. Then we'll do this. I've started learning DevOps 1 year ago and I finished 2 courses, but I can't start to work because I feel I don't know enough. Can you give some advice? Yes. So if you want to land a DevOps job, then you need to invest in some proper mentoring and get someone to help you. Now, this is what I do for a living. There's KubeCraft. This is where people join and they follow an 80-hour course. You build a production-grade portfolio, all guided by a senior DevOps engineer, me. I'm answering questions here day in, day out. And if you want to land a DevOps job, this is where you need to go. I'll share the link, kubecraft.dev. I'll share the link in the chat for you. You can check that out if you want. But that is basically what my advice. If you want to land a DevOps job, go there. I'm reading O'Reilly books. Exorcism start with Bash. Any specific resources recommend to speed up? Oh, that sounds pretty good. Exorcism is great. Bash is also good. And then I would move to Python if I were you. Locked with path 1, router mode, Llama server. Here's something worth flagging up front. Rack backend needs 0 code changes. That's good. That's exactly what we were expecting. Nothing to ship in backend. Great. I have all the answers I need to present the local stack design. Local architect. Yeah, I love this. I'm using superpowers, by the way. And I'm loving it how this brainstorming is taking you through it step by step instead of just boom going straight into the building. And these are like the tricks that you need to learn as someone who is doing agentic engineering, right? So let's see. Fedora host, rootless, toolbox, yep, Llama server, encoder, Nomic embed, yep, host containers, Podman compose, network case AI, chat UI, internet service, rack backend. Yes, yes, yes. Superbase staging, cloud. Yes. Yes. Compose file shape, build context, env file, env local, yep. No health check, that's fine. No ports, reachable from chat UI, yes. Network implicit default bridge, or whatever, Podman, yeah. No model server service, outside compose, yes. Yes, that sounds good. Local env example, env local, yes. Sounds good. Yes. Yep, all looks good. Yes. Runbook. Contents are defined here as section headings. Actual pros, land steering. Yeah, sure. We don't. Let's not do the run book right now. Create issue to do so. We'll probably need some debugging until it all works. So soon it should be able to start cooking. Yes. Thanks, Misha. I really appreciate everything you've put out so far for us. I'm benefiting a lot from your content. Thanks for saying so. Glad that my content is helping people around the world. Let's go. So the idea here is that it's going to be able to write the spec, and after that it's going to be able to just cook for a while on its own. And as it's doing that, then I'm going to set up the toolbox. So that we can actually try to connect to the model. But it shouldn't be like, it's a little bit overkill for it to like write a whole spec for this, but I do appreciate that we went through this, because I actually didn't realize that the embedding model needs to be running. Okay, so it's now going to write the spec. That's fine. Let's see. Toolbox list. So I do have a Strix ROCM toolbox running already. Toolbox, enter Strix ROCM. CUDA. Let's see, Quen 3. Llama CLI list devices. Let's see. Yeah, I did. Whisper CPP, that's it. Why isn't it not history? Why isn't it showing my Whisper? I think I should just run Claude here. Let's see if it's now actually working. Okay, so it's creating the design spec. That's good. So I was running a local transcription toolbox here, and I started running Whisper in there. But maybe, can I do toolbox help? Can I rename a toolbox? Toolbox enter, toolbox list. Yeah. I kind of want to just start over with a fresh one, because I believe I do have it documented. Yeah, this was for Whisper. Okay, so I will just toolbox rm Strix ROCM. We have to force it. And then we will run a new one. Um, oh yeah, toolbox enter. Sudo dnf install zshell. Let's see, what OS should you recommend for a home lab Kubernetes cluster? Yeah, Theo, this is the kind of stuff that you need to join KubeCraft for. Like this is, I have it all specced out and I'm all helping people answer these questions. Check out kubecraft.dev. The link is actually below up here, but I will show you. Like this is what I do for my main work is I help people with home labs, landing DevOps jobs, etc. So all those questions are answered there. And what operating system is Misha running? I'm using Fedora for Sway Atomic, exactly. Yeah. Exit. Okay, so now we see that I have my GPU available inside of this toolbox, which is what we wanted. Spec written and committed. Please review the spec. 2 natural steps once you approve is a prerequisite. I think we can skip the whole spec flow for the migration. It's straightforward. Just do it. No, I never plan to release those courses independently. Yes, I use RPM OS3. Yep. And then I just have everything inside of containers, so everything is defined as code anyway. Okay, so it's now going to create the plan to just, like I have all of this data in my production Supabase, but I want to have that in my staging Supabase, so the local cluster, the local development is talking against that one. That's just good practice to do. Even though there's literally zero risk for there's zero risk for any issues with production, and in fact it's not actually production, but it's just good to have it separated. Pull PostgreSQL from chat-UI-env. Both are session pooler, yeah. Install Actually, let's get it to use the let's see, where is it? Settings, connect, that's it. And copy prompt. Can we use Supabase instead? Marketplace, Supabase. I actually don't like using MCPs. Let's just see what it does here. Yeah, Fedora is not definitely not for Kubernetes use. Don't like Fedora. Like I'm using this as my workstation. I wouldn't run Kubernetes clusters on Fedora. Okay, so we have a toolbox running. So then it's just Llama server. Okay, that sounds good. Benchmarks. Claude. Can you figure out, we are in a toolbox, how much VRAM is available to us? Oh lol, it's literally saying that here. So why is there only 64 gigs VRAM available? My machine is supposed to have 128. Well, this won't work. The stuff you shared is Supabase, is built for application. Okay, use a. Lightwhale is another immutable base OS for running Docker containers out of the box. That's an interesting idea. Lightwhale. Make Linux servers fun again. Just boot and focus on what matters. Okay, that's interesting. I don't like that it's focused on Docker though. Like, I would prefer to use Podman at this stage. That's also why I like Fedora Atomic, but it's basically the same, it seems. Seems like the same idea than Fedora Atomic. And what did we say? Flatcar Linux? Flatcar Container Linux, open source, community powered innovation. There is just so many different Linux distributions out there. Like, wow. The Container Infrastructure OS. Flatcar Container Linux is designed from the ground up for container running workloads. Cool. Yeah, Immutable Linux OS, designed to scale. Huh, that's pretty cool. Okay, so now staging should have my tables. Yeah, Q&A calls. Cool. It now has the transcripts in here, so it should be able to embed them. I like using Ubuntu for AI workloads on Kubernetes. Easier to connect to the Kubernetes clusters to the NVIDIA GPU using Ubuntu as base OS. Yeah, Ubuntu is solid, for sure. Okay, so we have migrated the data, so that's good. My calls, my videos, read only, okay. Now it wants me to review the docs. Podman specs, spec for issue, yeah. Goals, one command, Podman compose up. Full super-based staging parity. Architecture, yeah. Look at how good this documentation is. Like, this is how you prompt AI models, guys. This is how you do it. You plan it out beforehand. Like, I've been spending a full hour planning this, but when you do that, then the result is going to be so much better. This is how you will one-shot things. Okay. Yep. Yep. Looks good. Okay, so I'll have to, yeah, I have to go into my BIOS and increase the VRAM. Yeah. Well, that explains it. So I have to reboot it after the stream and up my VRAM. But for this is fine. I'm just gonna get another drink. Be right back. The direction goal of development, where application coding is toward our prompts, docs, and PRDs becoming the primary source of truth committed to Git. Yes, exactly, Barco. This is so well put because let me start the sub-agent development. Cool. This is actually so right because the thing is, the code is not the result anymore, right? So what you are building is the specs, and then if you have the right specs, then with those specs you can just regenerate the code, and you can even do it in any language, right? So this is the new way of creating software and applications, is to spend so much time on specs. Like I've now spent an hour on a spec on building a local Podman development setup, which perhaps might have taken me less time if I had just written it myself. But of course, I'm also just learning the agentic development workflows, so I choose to do it that way. But because I have created the specs, as you see here, let's see, where was it? Here, look at how detailed this spec is. Oh, it's not rendering correctly because of the Here we go. Look at how detailed all of this is just for a local development setup, right? Like this is better than most documentation you will find in the wild. So because you commit, you create the documentation, you commit it, you'll always be able to reproduce what you have created, even in different languages. So that is going to be the real work. They're working towards reverse engineering the newer M4, M5 chips too, but unfortunately still have M1 lying around and some other E-ways, and used it to learn DevOps. Yeah, that's cool. Hello, JC. So what Misha's doing is spending time and taking great care up front, so the design phase seems like the better way forward. Yes, exactly. Are we actually live on Twitch right now? Yes, we are. And how many people are watching on Twitch? Or one viewer on Twitch. One on Twitch. And we have 49 on YouTube, probably. Are we live on X too? Yes, it's actually live on X too. And I asked Grok to summarize it. Did it work? That's annoying. Okay. So I have to do that myself then. How is it going for you today? Yes, I'm doing good. How about yourself? Inference on framework PC will be very slow. Okay. Yeah, we're going to find out. Like the inference on my 4090 on the actual production app is really good. What OS is Misha running right now? Doing the course of Raspberry Pi. Okay, it's Arch Linux, recovery trouble. Yeah, MacBook as a fallback. Let's see if it can find the latest Q&A calls. Only use Q&A calls from 2026. What distro is Misha using? Okay, not explicitly named. He did confirm that Linux distribution like Fedora is viable. Okay, so we didn't discuss that during the Q&A calls that much. But if I just run, do you have any tips for the CKA? You see how fast this is, right? So this is all running on Kubernetes using Gemma in my local cluster on a 4090. So that's working well. Let's see. For the past 4 months, I built an agent orchestrator. My project is getting solid. Okay. So how many agents are you running and what are you building with them? Because we were just looking at a tweet just now. Yeah, here, this one. Does anyone actually run 20 agents in parallel, right? And someone is saying yes, but not 20, but I've definitely run 5 to 10 before for complex tasks. But yeah, I mean, based on the reactions, no one is actually running 10 plus agents and doing any meaningful work. Okay, so it seems like it is now done. So compose.yaml. Okay, so if I go Podman compose dot, will that work? Podman compose executable file not found in path. Aha. Okay. So Fedora atomic Podman compose. Fedora sway atomic. Where is the documentation? Fedora. User guide. Compose. Oh, this is actually it's referring the entire documentation here. Because why is Podman compose not installed on Fedora Atomic? Let's see, Fedora Atomic, Podman compose. In order for Podman compose to work with its default configuration, you must like... What? Why would I need Docker compose? Let's see, Podman documentation. This is why I'm learning Podman, right? Because tutorials. Podman remote. Compose. Podman compose is a thin wrapper around external compose providers such as Docker Compose or Podman Compose. So Podman is executing another tool that implements the compose functionality. But why is Podman, which Podman Why is Podman Compose not installed on this system? My project is different. I have a chat layer that only talk delegate tasks to agents, building a backlog and come on board assign. It's pretty solid. Yeah, okay, that sounds cool, but then again, like what are you building, right? Like I'm able to run just many agents using tmux here, so I just do it this way and it's totally fine. They work all the time. But the thing is, like, I'm limited by the ideas that I have and the ability to just keep the agents running. Let's see. We are AI native, so we are going to ask Claude. I use Fedora Atomic Sway, but Podman Compose does not work, and Podman Compose is not installed. What do? Because I can't just install Podman Compose either. I might have to layer that in the RPM OS 3. Right? Do you plan to upgrade the newer framework laptop or upgrade strictly the motherboard? Yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. I've been using my one for 3-4 months now, and now there's a new one. I would rather have the new one, but I'm actually pretty satisfied with my current one. The only thing I don't really like is the screen for working outside. So yeah, maybe I do have to fix it. Let's see, on Atomic, the clean fix is installed as a user-level Python tool rather than layering it. Podman Compose is just a wrapper that shells to an external Compose provider. It'll find Podman Compose on your path and work transparently once it's there. Or I have to layer it. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to do it inside of a toolbox because then it becomes very awkward. But is there Mies search Podman? Damn it, it's not in Podman either. Download Podman Compose. Install Podman Compose. Oh, download and install Podman Compose yourself. Here we go. But this is Docker Compose. Oh yeah, Podman Compose, containers. Okay. An implementation of Compose spec with Podman backend. This is then pip. This script will download the repo, generate the binary, and place the binary in the directory where you call the script. That's interesting. Or I can just curl it. And it will be user local bin. Okay, so we'll just curl warning failed to open the file, permission denied. Path. User local bin, home Misha bin. Okay, so we'll just curl it into home Misha dot local bin. Okay. Then chmod plus x local bin Podman compose. And now if I do compose executing external compose, yes. At least it's running. But now we're having an issue with the .env. So it's a binary, but it doesn't have the required... Oh, why? Okay, maybe if I do it mies pip. Let's see, how was it again with pip? Mies pip. Pip. Pip x backend. Wait, which UV? Is UV installed? No UV. If you have UV installed, UV tool install. This becomes tricky because I'm installing it on my local system, but I think we'll just have to mies use UV. Which UV? Mies install. UV pip install Podman compose. Was it that? System. Yeah, okay. So it's failing to create the directory because ls user local lib stat. Yeah, there's no write permissions for my user to install it there. Because user is also read-only. The thing is, what I'm trying to install right now is to run Podman compose. That's why I'm trying to use. I need to install these libs system-wide because apparently even if I get the binary for Podman compose, it wasn't working, which is really strange. So I will probably have to layer this into my RPM OS3 instead. And that means that I will have to stop the stream. And it's actually 8 p.m. So hold on, I'll be back in a second. Yeah, I just checked on my dinner, which is cooking, which is going to be ready in 12 minutes from now. So what I actually need to do is I need to sudo or rpm os3 install podman compose. What's for dinner? It's chicken drumsticks and broccoli. Yeah, so here you'll see that it has now installed Podman Compose, python.env, exactly what was needed, the issue that we were running into. So let me see. UV pip help. Is it uninstall? Yeah, UV pip uninstall podman compose system. UV pip list. System. Okay. So we haven't installed it. Ms uninstall UV. Ms up. Let's just do an up. Okay. Ms clean. What is it? Ms purge? What was it again? Ms prune. Yeah, so now it's uninstalled. This is where I drop into plan mode and ask Claude for my options. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, like, I'm able to just easily navigate all of these paths and all of the like binaries. Like, I know exactly what this means. Like, I'm curling the binary into a directory, and now I could instantly read that because here, no, here, like here I was trying like, okay, I will install the binary, and then I chmod it, and then the binary was there, but I could instantly see, okay, we are missing the some dependencies for the dev dependencies, which is annoying. Like, if it had been a Go binary, then all of this would have not been a problem, right? So I'm not understanding why Podman Compose couldn't just be a single binary. So then I tried Mies, and then I instantly recognized, oh yeah, okay, there's the node.env, and I cannot write to it because it is part of the read-only file system. So I just in the end I just layer it instead. So if I do rpm os3 status, then we see now there a third deployment is added, and if I will now reboot my system, then Podman Compose is going to be installed in my system, and I'm going to be able to run it. So that's it basically. And I can, like, I don't need Claude for that because I've done this so much in my years as a DevOps engineer, setting up and building environments, that this stuff is second nature to me. System-wide versus a local sandbox. Yeah, I'm very particular with this stuff. Like, everything is running in containers. Everything is something that I am very particular about. You know, you can just ask Claude to install it for you, right? Well, that is a good point, but then I'm running this on my local system, right? And I'm not allowed to run Claude directly in my CLI. I will need to run Claude from within a toolbox in that case. And it could probably do that, but then it's installing, well, let's see, toolbox, enter tools, Claude. If you were to install Podman Compose on this Fedora Atomic Linux system, how would you do it? Is Kubernetes good for building storage systems? Yes, absolutely. If you use Ceph Rook, yeah, exactly what Barco is saying. If you set up Kubernetes with Ceph Rook, 100%, you can definitely build your own storage OS, basically, for sure. Issue is Ceph needs 3+ nodes. Well, I mean, duh. If you want to build your own storage system, then you have more nodes, right? Like, if it's just one thing, then why do you need to build your own storage system? Okay, so Claude was saying RPM OS3. Yeah, okay, so that's what I ended up at. Pip X install, I went through Brew or Mies, right? So we arrived at the same things. Would this have been faster? Probably. Yeah, you're right. But on the other hand, like I'm not a software engineer, right? I'm not a software engineer, so I am very comfortable with outsourcing that to the AI, because first of all, that's what it's good at. But second of all, like I have coding skills. I can write code from scratch, but I'm not a software engineer. And so I don't really have like skills to maintain there. But like my sysadmin command line skills, like this is what I'm good at. This is my profession and what I enjoy doing. And if you just always outsource everything to the AI, I have noticed in my own work that a lot of that stuff really quickly starts to atrophy. So I would definitely recommend being selective with what you outsource to the AI, and also do some thinking yourself. You should never always keep thinking, okay? don't just outsource all of your thinking to the AI. Be very careful. I'm very careful with this because I have really noticed some areas in my life and in my work where I outsourced it to the AI and my brain started rotting and I was not able to do it anymore. Like it's very quick how easy and quickly you use these skills or lose these skills, I mean. So, okay, this is where the this stream has ended then. So if we take a look at the actual result, what it has built a compose.yaml, and it should be able to locally build and connect to my staging Supabase environment. It has migrated all of the production data to my Supabase environment, to a staging environment. And then I will need to fill out the credentials. Actually, I should just ask it to do that. Create the end file. So I can just run it. Okay. And so when I reboot my system, I should be able to then have a local version that does pull in the production data from my staging environment. And I should then be able to connect to my different toolbox, which is, in this case, here. Here, Llama CLI list devices. So here I have Llama CPP running inside of here. So all I need to do here is to pull the model, and then it should be able to serve, and my local deployment should be able to talk to it. Now, there are two things that I need to do. I need to reboot. I'm writing in notes for myself. Reboot, and then for the Podman compose, and I have to upgrade or configure VRAM in BIOS. So yes, to be continued. I am now also, it's now 8 p.m. I'm going to have dinner and relax for the rest of the night. How many people are joining or watching right now, actually? 43 people still, very nice. So my chicken is cooking. I'm using an air fryer, so it is now, it's actually beeping right now. Actually, that's really funny you say it. It's actually beeping now. So my chicken is actually done right now. So that means I'm going to end the stream, and then the next stream I should have more VRAM, and then I have Podman Compose layered in, and I should be able to run our local development setup. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I want to mention that, like, the stuff that I'm doing here, this AI stuff, like many of you will know that I teach DevOps engineers, but I am thinking of creating a second community. It's not going to be like a full career accelerator, but more like a community. And if you want to get on the founding members list, then you can check that out. I send the link in the stream here. And this is going to be a community where I'm going to be sharing more knowledge about AI. And basically, if you want to learn AI from me, you can sign up on the wait list there. It's for free. But if you sign up, you'll get a massive discount when I do launch it. I'm just trying to get a sense of how many people would be interested in it. So check out the link. Thank you for tuning in to the stream. And guys, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.